All right, Jerry Zayden here with Camburg Racing in Huntington Beach, California. First of all, thanks for watching our video. Second, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. So we have a 2020 Toyota Tacoma. They're going to be changing out all this stock suspension. Why? Well, we like to go off-road, and this stock suspension is not set up to go off-road. So with the stock suspension here, we have these stamped steel, folded, welded control arms. We have these really little factory shocks, and that stuff's coming off. So let's go to the other side where the install crew here has removed the factory suspension, kind of point out a couple of things we're doing and explain how and why we're doing what we're doing. So in here on the suspension, the upper control arm, we pulled everything out of the way, removed the coilover, removed the upper arm. Crew's getting ready to do the full install here, and when we get that going, we'll have a whole nother video showing you how the suspension goes on, what it takes to take it off, what it takes to put it on, etc. So come back and watch that video. Now let's go check out the parts. So here we are with our Toyota Tacoma parts. We're going to be installing these billet aluminum upper control arms. These billet aluminum upper control arms are made at our machine shop, which is walking distance from our main shop here, located in Huntington Beach, California. So big benefits is you can see the size of this ball joint. If you want to zoom in here and take a peek, these ball joints are very high quality, but they're very small, and they're not to the same demands that we're looking for when we're going off-road. So when you look at the difference in size here between the uniball, like look at the size of that ball compared to the size of that ball. Clearly there's a huge difference. Another big thing on these arms that we're doing is we're getting rid of these really flexy rubber bushings. So under hard braking, these are gonna flex and kind of make a mess. So those are gone. These arms here, we use FK, made in the United States. We have a 7/8 thread shank. Most of the other control arms that use Heims, they're doing 3/4, so they're a lot smaller. We do use a 3/4 bearing here, which is actually very big for the loads that we're seeing. It's kind of overbuilt, really. Anyway, so these are threaded into the billet aluminum here. We have a pinch bolt design. We still use the jam nut, keeps everything tight. And you'll see we have these different spacers here on the upper control arms. So we have two different lengths, and when you look at these lengths here, the reason why we're doing that is because you can position this arm with the spacers to push the arm forward or push them back. So we have two different caster settings when we do that. So we have an extreme caster setting for people that are just all about hardcore off-road, and then we have a more than factory caster setting that's good for the street and off-road. These arms also include these billet aluminum caps, and with this billet aluminum cap we have this O-ring that fits in the groove here, and then these bolt on and these cap off the top there, so it's full weather sealed on the top of the uniball. The bottom, these are PTFE lined uniballs, so it's not just metal on metal, it actually has a liner in there that's a self-lubricating liner. Sometimes from time to time when it gets real dry out, you'll hear some squeaking. You just lubricate that up a little bit and you're good to go. It's very easy to clean underneath of these as well. So now let's get to the shocks, and that's another massive improvement. These are the factory shocks here, as you see. They're about 1 5/8 inch, 1 3/4 OD, which means the piston in here, imagine the inside of this metal tube and how little that piston is. These things are micro. Let's just compare this shock here to, say, an aftermarket Fox 2.0. As you see the difference in size between these two shocks, I mean, that is a really big difference on the size, and this is just a 2.0. It's pretty standard, more kind of entry-level, high-quality suspension is 2.0. We're actually going to a 2.5-inch shock, and with this shock, this is the all-new Fox coilovers here. They have the DSCs, full reservoir, dual speed control here, and this is what they call their Performance Elite Series shocks. So these are brand new, they're coming out soon. We're going to do a full install video, but these are all aluminum body, full anodized, uniball upper pivot. You got the reservoir lines into the DSC. This is the dual speed compression adjuster, so we can do high speed and low speed adjustability. Now I know a lot of you guys out there are like, what's high speed and what's low speed mean? Well, just to put it in a simpler term, high speed is going to be anything like a pothole, a curb, a speed bump. In the desert, that would be a rock, big impact on a bump. Low speed's going to be rollers, low speed's going to be body roll, low speed's going to be G-out. So on these shocks, you actually have 2 circuits and you can adjust both of those separately. These shocks have the large 7/8 shaft. They got all this machining around the bottom here so all the dirt could come out, all the water could come out. These do have the uniball pivot here. Same type of uniball as our upper control arm. These are just obviously a lot smaller, extremely strong, high quality. They have the stainless spacers. The way they machine all this clears all the axles and everything else that you're going to need to clear. For the rear of the truck, we're switching out to these pin top shocks, which are isolated with these really high quality rubber bushings. They're a lot larger. Very heavy duty washers here, so like some of the other shocks on the market, this stuff just falls apart too quickly because it's, you know, different type of urethane with small hardware and kind of pulls through the frame. These rear shocks are 2.5 inch, 7/8 shaft. They have all the bumpers, all the good bushings, great seal cap, and same feature as the front coilover here with the DSC as well. And these are a full aluminum bodied shock, aluminum reservoirs, so way better for the corrosion. So not like the steel that over time the plating wears off, they get all rusty and start falling apart. These are really high quality aluminum. So that's the parts. We're gonna obviously post this video that you're gonna see first. Next is coming a full installation video showing how this kit gets installed. We're gonna show that with our new ball joint upper control arm that comes with the Camburg Extreme joint, which is our X joint. We're also going to show it with a standard uniball arm that we make, which is a tube construction with a cap, as well as the billet upper arms here. So please subscribe to our page if you haven't already, at Camburg Racing. Tell your friends about our YouTube page that we got going on. Thanks for watching us everywhere else, and see you soon.